Today, I want to talk to you about time blocking and how I use that to kind of build out my day. And my first thought was when I was thinking about time blocking, I kind of went back to when I first started doing this. And my goodness, like it was good to lay it all out there because I was trying to pack way too much into my daily schedule that it was not possible to actually accomplish all of the things that I was trying to do. So I was constantly feeling behind. And that was the feeling is that I was always trying to catch up. And I felt like if I stopped to actually organize my day, I would just be wasting time and not being able to actually use that time to get the things done that I needed to do. It was a mess. So I just finally stopped and said that I needed to just lay out my day. And that's when I really realized that there was just too much I was trying to accomplish. So then I had to prioritize. And I came up with a way that works really, really well for me. And I want to share that with you today because it is a work in progress, but I want to give you some tips on how to get started so you can figure this out for yourself as well. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renee Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. I do use a paper planner and I also use a Google Calendar. And before you decide which one is best for you, I want to explain kind of why I use both and how I got to that point. So, I used to use a paper planner all the time. And then when I'm old enough that I remember when the electronic calendars really started getting popular. So, I started using the electronic calendars after I realized that it's really convenient always having your calendar at your fingertips. But I really liked the idea of using a paper planner and getting it out onto paper. And there's something about writing and being able to color code and just have fun with the paper part of it. So then I tried to do both. And I tried to keep the paper planner and I tried to do the Google Calendar. And what I was running into was that when I would schedule something like an appointment or a meeting or anything like that, I would plug it into my paper planner, but what was happening is then all of a sudden I would forget to put it into my Google Calendar. So then I would be kind of going off of my paper planner, and then somebody would say, "Hey, are you busy this day? Can we get together and do something?" Whatever it was, I was double booking myself because I was only looking at one, but I was scheduling it inconsistently in both different area or in different areas. And so it was just becoming a nightmare. So then I was trying to schedule it in both areas, like everything. So every time an appointment was made, I would put it in my paper planner and then I'd put it in my Google Calendar. And it was like, why am I doing both? This is a nightmare. So then I switched to just straight electronic calendar, which worked really well for a while. I actually love using a Google Calendar, but there's something about a paper planner. So I was able to figure out how it works best for me to actually utilize both. But before I go into that, I want to do that in a separate episode, how I actually use both of them together to work a system that works really well for me. Right now, I just want to talk to you about laying out your day and planning your day so that you have a time blocked day and why it makes sense to actually stack your routines in there. And so I'm going to talk you through that and then I will share the Google Calendar and the paper planner combination later at on Monday's episode, I believe it will be. So, when you're doing this process, what I want you to do is take a piece of paper and write the time sections from the top to the bottom. So, if you get up at 5 a.m., I want you to put 5 a.m. at the top and then do 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., all the way down to your bedtime. And then I want you to write out what a typical day, if you are just living your day the way that you normally live it. I know every day is different, obviously, but on the most likely things to happen, I want you to just schedule those in, and then think about all the different things that you are trying to plug in there, and then schedule those in. It's kind of a nightmare. And when I started doing this, that's when I started realizing, like, okay, if I take 15 minutes here and then stack it on 15 minutes here and then 30 minutes here, I still didn't have enough time, and I was not giving myself any breaks throughout the day, and I still wasn't even getting done everything that I needed to. And I was starting my day at 5:30 in the morning, and I was not ending it until like 9:30 or 10 at night, and I still had to shower and get ready for bed and have a conversation with my husband. Like, I was being so productive, but also just chaotically busy that it was just draining me because I didn't even have time to just rest and relax or sit in 5 minutes of silence. There was just constantly something that needed to be done. And so I did this with my ideal day, and I realized, like, okay, if I spread this out for the week, then I can kind of tweak this, and maybe I can skip this on Tuesday and I can do it Thursday instead. And I did this for a whole week span, and when I was looking at that, I'm like, I can't do this. So then I started to take that schedule and I started to just compact, is that the word? to to combine things into a more compact section. Maybe that's the way to say it. And that's how I started coming up with more of the routine focus. So instead of trying to clean, in the mornings and then trying to do like deep cleaning at night or doing all these different things with my business, maybe some of it was in the morning, some of it was in the afternoon, some of it was in the evening, I realized I'm like, I can't keep doing that because my brain is jumping all over the place. And so then I started to just combine similar tasks and put them into the little routines. So looking at my previous week when I first started this and that schedule, I went back and looked at it and it is like the colors are just all over the place. And now when you look at my week, it's very like streamlined and it just feels so much better. So when you're doing this, you go down and you create your day of what you already have going on, and then you create your ideal day. And what I want you to focus on is, don't worry about the meetings and the appointments and all of those things that you have obligations to right now. Don't think about those yet. I want you to focus on those five foundational first routines that I teach about because these apply to everybody. So, before I go into these, if you need to grab the blueprint or the workbook that I talk about, and I actually teach these in the workbook, and then there's templates that you can go in and create your own, and it walks you through everything. If you want to grab that, it's just go to yourorganizedlifeblueprint.com, and then you can either download the PDF version or you can grab it off of Amazon. But either way, that will walk you through all of these if you just don't know where to start. Or you can keep listening to the podcast episodes, and I teach it here as well. So, whatever works best for you, whatever style of learning you prefer, either way, I really want you to go through that because it's going to change your life. So, and if we go through the five that I really want you to focus on, is scheduling yourself a morning routine. Now, this can be a 5-minute routine, this can be a 2-hour routine, it can be something as simple as making sure that you are able to sit down for a nice hot cup of coffee while your kids play in front of you in silence, or it can be like getting up before any of the household is up and doing a devotional and a workout and journaling and you know, uh, a walk outside, whatever it is, like your routine can be whatever you want it to be, but it's really important for you to have a time in your day that is for you to reset and kind of recalibrate yourself. I definitely recommend doing it in the morning. That will just set your day off a whole different way. If for some reason you absolutely cannot do mornings, make sure you're giving yourself time some other part of the day, whether it's your lunch break or as you're getting ready for bed, maybe that's your reset time. If you can do both, fantastic, but always try to make sure that you can do a morning routine. And if you can't do the mornings, do a different one. Now, the second one is your meal planning routine. This is to make sure that you have your plan in place for your whole week so that you don't have to worry about what's for dinner. Number three is your daily seven home routine. And this is taking those seven priority tasks in your house and combining them and getting them all done as quickly as you possibly can at the same time so that you can keep your home in this tidy state in under 30 minutes a day. And then number four is your movement routine and getting some type of movement in, whether it is, a quick walk around the block, it could be stretching, it could be part of your morning routine and combine those two, whatever you want to do. You just need to be moving your body every day. It feels fantastic and it's super important for your health. Number five is your budget routine. And this is just making sure that you have a plan set and you are tracking what you're doing so that you know exactly where your money's going. And it completely reduces your money stress. You get to pay your bills on time. You get to start getting out of debt or you get to start saving for your future. It is a huge weight off your shoulders when you get this routine in place. So, those are the five that I teach on, and those are the five that apply to everyone. Like, we all need reset time. We all need to eat. We all need to be cleaning our homes. We all need to be moving our bodies, and we all need to be managing our money. And so those are the five that I want you to actually make sure that you get into your schedule somewhere. Now, beyond that, then you look at what your other priorities in life are right now. So, not necessarily the appointments yet, but what are the things that are important to you? So, for example, one of my things is that I want to make sure that outside of those five routines that we're also making sure we have time to go to the gym. I have to make sure that I have time for my full time job. I have to make sure that I have time to work my business. Those are my priorities that I'm consistently doing each day that is going to affect the schedule that I have throughout the day. So I want you to really think about those main blocks of what you need to do. Think about those main things. And when you do this, I don't want you to think about, the 10-minute tasks or the little 10-minute increments where you're just stacking everything on top of each other because that can get really overwhelming. We want like bigger chunks in the day if you can do that because if we are blocking in, our daily seven home routine, we can just plug in a 30-minute chunk there and we don't have to put in 5 minutes for vacuuming the floors and then 5 minutes for making the beds. We don't need to do that. We just want to highlight half hour home routine. That is it. And then if I'm going in the morning, I can just block in an hour for my morning routine, 2 hours for my business work. I'm not putting in what I'm doing. I'm just putting the time frame of the time I'm setting aside for that specific routine for that block of time of what I'm going to be focusing on. So you want to go through and figure out what your priorities are and then stack them throughout your day and see where you're sitting. See how much time you have left. Make sure that you have some blank spots in there because that's going to give you the flexibility of being able to shift things around when they need to be shifted or when a meeting comes up. You can just plug those in without your whole day being derailed and you can still get the things done that you need to get done. So, doing this process, you will find that you'll probably do it. And then, like a month down the road, you're going to want to do it again. And then a month down the road, you're going to want to do it again. And each time your schedule is going to get more and more compact so that you have more open space throughout your day. And that is the magic of being able to do this is you start to see where you can bring those routines into place where it's not scattered throughout your day. You can bring it into one focus area and then just go ham on that specific time frame, get it done and move on to the next thing, and it opens up freedom in your day. So, for an example, I kind of want to walk you through what my ideal template is for myself. Now, this is before any meetings or changes in our schedule happen. This is just my ideal day would start with a morning routine. Then I would go into my business time. So, my business time is my personal business time. Then I do a walk with my dog outside. Then it goes into my full time work job. And then I work at home. So on my lunch break, I actually do my lunch and my daily 7 home routine. I combine those and get them done in that same break time. And then I have a chunk to finish my full time job work day. After work, I have a gym time block. And then I have a dinner block. And then I have my whole evening is open for whatever we need to do. So it is an open block of space. And that is my ideal day. Keep in mind, this was not how it started. Remember, I was originally going from 5:30 in the morning to 9:30 to 10 at night. This is not how it started. I did not have those open chunks of evenings. So you will be surprised that when you start doing this, how quickly you can really narrow things down so that it is focused time and you'll start seeing that freedom open up. Now, does every day go like that? Absolutely not. But that is my starting point. So I will do that across Monday through Friday of my whole week. And then on Fridays, I look at this and I pull out my paper planner, and I'm not going to dive too deep because I want to combine the paper planner and the Google Calendar like I said in the next episode. But each Friday is my favorite day to plan ahead. So each Friday, I look at the week ahead and I take my ideal template and I look at the day ahead and I make my tweaks. And this is where it gets really cool because when you have those open spots in there, you can start just restacking. So if you need to pull a routine from the morning to the evening because you now have a morning appointment, you have the flexibility in your schedule because you have made everything more compact and focus based. You end up opening up windows in your day. And so when you need to shift some things around, you just restack them, you just reorganize them. And it makes it so much easier to plan out your week. And you just do this for your whole week spread. If things come up, that is totally fine. But you just want to get a good grasp of your upcoming week so you can be fully prepared. And then when Monday hits, you know exactly what you're doing and what comes next. So I know when Monday hits, I go straight into my morning routine. And then I go straight into my next thing, and it's that focused time in that specific area of my routine. And then as soon as I get it done, and I can get it done as quickly as I can, because that is our focus, we could do it as quickly as we can. And then it opens up the space to be able to move on to the next thing. And before you know it, you're going to just keep tweaking your day to really fall in line with your priorities and being able to actually get the things done that you want to get done and still have space in your day and not just feel like you're constantly running ragged and not being able to catch up. So, I hope this was helpful and not too all over the place for you. It's kind of hard to explain it without being able to just show you on paper. It's very different trying to talk to you about it. But I hope this was helpful. If you do have questions, just come and drop them in the Facebook group. I will be sharing a little bit about the actual schedule and kind of how it lays out a little bit. And so you have a visual example. I will do that in the Facebook group. If you want to come join us in there so you can see it, you can share yours, you can get some insight, you can ask us questions about maybe how it might work a little bit better for you, all those different things. Come join us in the Facebook group because we are having so much fun in there and we would love to have you in there. You can just go to facebook.com/groups the Routine Advantage community. And hopefully I will see you in there soon. So that is it for today. Make sure you jump into the next episode that comes out on Monday, and we will talk more about how to combine your paper planner with your Google Calendar and make your life just a whole lot easier. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.